Hello, my name is Seth Grissom. My firm, Seth Bryant Grissom LLC, has been heavily involved in BP oil spill settlement claims over the past 2.5 years. During that time, I have helped hundreds of businesses and individuals throughout the zone prepare claims. I have filed claims on their behalf and helped these businesses and individuals receive compensation under the terms of the oil spill settlement agreement.
My name is Neil Campbell. I'm a CPA in Birmingham, Alabama. I assist Seth's clients in gathering the necessary financial documentation needed throughout the process of filing claims.
The focus of today's presentation is regarding real estate professionals. My firm has helped many real estate professionals through this process, but I believe that overall this is an industry that has not been given as much attention as other industries. In fact, based on my firm's client base, I believe most real estate professionals are eligible to file a claim, but do not even realize it. This includes any real estate professional that receives commission, whether that be a residential or a commercial real estate professional. Please know that these claims can be a significant amount of money. In fact, the average claim amount is around $25,000. Recently, my firm has received awards for a realtor in Tuscaloosa for $173,000, a realtor in Huntsville, Alabama for $101,000, and $65,000 for a realtor in Birmingham, Alabama. These are just a few of the examples of the size of claims that real estate professionals can have. Am I eligible to file a claim? A claim is derived from the BP oil spill that occurred on April 20th of 2010. After the spill, a settlement agreement was reached to compensate businesses and individuals in the Gulf Coast region. The terms of the settlement agreement determine who is eligible to file a claim and who is not eligible to file a claim. All claims are processed through a court-supervised settlement program. That means that claimants do not have to go to court to file a claim. The settlement program is processing hundreds of thousands of claims and compensating eligible claimants. This process has been in effect since June the 4th of 2012. It is very, very important to note that the deadline to file a claim under this settlement with the court-supervised settlement program is June the 8th, 2015. The settlement agreement that I have referred to is over 1,000 pages long. Also, there have been additional policies adopted and implemented by the settlement program to support the terms of the settlement agreement. There's a lot of information to go through and a lot of information related to the settlement agreement itself. It's a complicated document. Let's keep it simple. The settlement agreement determines who is eligible to file a claim and who is not eligible to file a claim. The important thing to note about the agreement is that no direct evidence of the oil spill's impact on a business is required. Rather, a formula is used to analyze an economic loss based on revenue and profit trends to determine if a business or an individual is eligible to receive compensation. And this is commonly referred to as the causation test. Eligibility to file a claim is based on a business's revenue patterns. There is no cap to the settlement agreement. What does this mean? It means that if you file a claim, you are not receiving money that would go to any other business. It would not go to someone that you might think is more deserving or was more effective. If your business is eligible for compensation, that payment will only be made to your business. Who can file a claim under this settlement agreement? Essentially, there is two criteria of the class of those individuals and businesses that can file a claim. The first criteria is if a person or entity is included within the zone. The second criteria is if a person or entity passes the causation test that is outlined in the settlement agreement. Back to the zone. The first criteria of who can file a claim is determined by your location, what I've referred to as the zone. The graphic in this slide depicts the Gulf Coast area region. As you can see in the legend, there are different zones of compensation. I'd like you to focus your attention to Zone D, which is highlighted by a bold white border. This border includes the entire state of Alabama, the entire state of Mississippi, the entire state of Louisiana, and portions of Florida and Texas. Therefore, if you are located within this geographic region, known as the zone, you are potentially eligible to file a claim for compensation.
The second part of what Seth was describing is the causation test. This sounds like a big, complicated term, but it's really not. It's simply a revenue test that's outlined in the settlement agreement. It's based on your revenue patterns before and after the oil spill. Specifically relating to real estate professionals, we analyze your monthly commissions from 2007 through 2011. There are 54 combinations of ways to pass the causation test. You simply have to pass one of these ways to become eligible for a claim. Due to the complexity of the 54 combinations, Seth's firm has designed a sophisticated program to run all 54 combinations of ways to ensure that we are giving you the best chance to qualify for a claim. As Seth has previously stated, roughly 75% of all real estate professionals are potentially eligible for a claim. Most professionals do not even realize that they are potentially eligible. Our goal is to simplify the process of what it takes to determine if you are eligible to file a claim. If you are interested in filing a claim, you can click the link below the presentation or send us an email to let us know you're interested, and we will send you the forms detailed in step 1. There are two forms. The first is a client profile form. This form includes basic contact information such as name, phone number, and address.
In addition to the client profile form, we also need a representation agreement. This is an agreement between my firm and your business that establishes the attorney-client relationship and allows my firm to file a claim on your behalf.
Once we have the client profile form and the representation agreement, the next thing we need in step 2 are your monthly commissions from January 2007 through December 2011. Now, if you did not enter the real estate industry until after January 2007, that is okay. We can still analyze your claim. We would just need your monthly commissions from the date in which you started receiving commissions. The easiest way to obtain your monthly commissions is from your real estate agency. There are literally dozens of reports that personnel at the agency can run that will list your monthly commissions. We simply need something that shows your commission amount and the month in which it was received. If you cannot obtain these reports from your real estate agency, you can use your personal records. We've even had clients simply provide their bank statements, and we will look at their deposits to determine their monthly commissions. We'll do whatever we can to help you obtain the necessary information to perform the causation calculation. Once we've performed the causation calculation, we will let you know if you are eligible to receive a claim. At this point in time, we will move to step 3. In step 3, we will need your federal tax returns for 2007 through 2011. If you do not have copies of these, you can request them from your CPA. If this is not an option, we can complete a form and request them from the IRS. We will also need your commission statements supporting monthly commissions for 2007 through 2011. In most cases, you have already provided this in step 2. Lastly, we will need your annual 1099s for 2007 through 2011. These are the tax forms that you receive from your real estate agency stating the amount of commissions you earned for each tax year. Again, if you don't have copies of these, you can request them from your CPA. If that is not an option, we can also request these from the IRS. Once we have these documents, we will complete the remaining forms listed in Step 3. We will send these to you for your review and signature. Once we receive the signed forms from you, your work is complete and ours is just beginning. We will continue to calculate your claim and subsequently file your claim. We will keep you updated on the process as we progress.
As Neil has discussed, this settlement agreement is based upon a lot of documentation. The good thing about all the documentation Neil has discussed is that it's historical data. It is nothing new that you need to gather. Rather, it is obtaining financial documentation that is already there. Moving on, I've been asked, how much does this process cost? I want you to know that there is no fee to determine if your business is eligible to file a claim. However, if you are eligible to file a claim, attorney's fees are contingent upon any award amount, and that contingency fee is 25% of an award amount. What this means is that if my firm works on your claim and you do not pass a causation test or don't receive compensation, you will not pay any attorney's fees. There is no out-of-pocket cost for any expenses throughout this process. I've heard several times over the past couple years individuals with businesses ask the question, well, what if my business wasn't affected? A response to that is that it's hard to quantify the spill's overall effect on the economy and how far that reached. At a minimum, every individual or business in the zone was indirectly affected by the oil spill. BP has acknowledged this and therefore agreed to this settlement. In fact, BP has chosen to include you or your business in this settlement.
I want to come back to the point that Seth previously spoke on about there being no cap to the settlement. He explained what this meant, but I want to give you kind of a real life example. About a year and a half ago, we were working with a client and we went through the process and determined that they were due to be awarded roughly $50,000, and that client said to me, I just don't know. I think I would rather that $50,000 go to somebody on the Gulf Coast, like a fisherman that lost their livelihood due to the oil in the ocean, or maybe a restaurant that went out of business on the beach due to the oil spill. I'd rather that $50,000 go to them. And I told the client, first of all, your heart is absolutely in the right place. But secondly, there's no cap to this settlement agreement. So your $50,000, if you don't accept that award, is not going to go into a pool of funds to go to the individuals you described. Rather, that $50,000 is not going to go to anybody. So after I explained that to the client, he felt much better about filing the claim and receiving the money. So I just wanted to add a real life example to what no cap to the settlement means. As a CPA, I spend a large portion of my day analyzing numbers. So I've pulled together some financial facts about BP for us to try to help us understand the scale of the company. BP is the 6th largest company in the entire world in terms of revenues. I've listed the top 6, and to no surprise to many of us, Walmart is the largest company in the world, pulling in almost $500 billion in 2014. What is somewhat surprising to me is that the 2nd through 6th largest companies in the world are all oil companies. Now, we've all been to the gas pump in the last few months and enjoyed the $2 a gallon gas prices, and we've probably thought to ourselves, wow, these oil companies must really be struggling with the low price of gas. Well, these statistics suggest that this is hardly the case. Another thing that's worth noting is that BP has already written off over $37 billion related to the oil spill in 2010. Part of this $37 billion was their estimated $10 billion for this settlement agreement. As you can see, in their yearly net income. In 2010, the company lost $3 billion in net income. This takes into account the $37 billion that they had already written off. Had it not been for the oil spill, BP would have had a record year in profits. Ever since the oil spill, BP has amassed over $65 billion in net income. Now, it's kind of hard for me to really understand how much is $65 billion, how much is $400 billion. Once you get past $100,000 to $1 million, it all seems like a lot of money to me. So I'm going to try to give an example on a personal level to a real estate professional to put things in perspective. Let's say that you are a real estate professional that earns $50,000 a year in real estate commissions. We're going to try to compare you to BP. So let's assume that you have a claim for $25,000, which is the average claim of our clients that are in the real estate profession. That $25,000 to BP's $400 billion in revenues would be the equivalent of a third of a penny to your $50,000 in commission. So in summary, your claim is extremely insignificant because a third of a penny is insignificant to you. Now, if we look at the entire settlement agreement, analyze the estimated $10 billion in costs to the $400 billion in revenues that BP had last year, that would be the equivalent of roughly $1,200 to somebody that earns $50,000 a year in real estate commissions. My point is that a third of a penny is extremely insignificant to BP. However, when we deliver a check to a client for $25,000, in almost all cases, that is a significant amount of money to that client. They may use that money to help pay for their kids' school. They may use that money to help buy a new family vehicle. They may use it to help out someone in need or give to a charity that they feel strongly about. Whatever they choose to do with that money, it is a significant amount of money. Whereas for BP, it's basically like they're paying $1,200 and they just move on. So I hope that example helps illustrate the scale of BP and how large of a company they are and how much they have in resources.
Thank you, Neil, for providing those numbers. I'd like to finish by talking about BP's commitment to the Gulf. BP has acknowledged that they were responsible for the largest marine oil spill in the history of the petroleum industry. As a result, BP is trying to do the right thing in their commitment to the Gulf. BP has chosen to include you in the settlement agreement. Why would you not allow them to honor their commitment? If you are in the zone and you pass the required causation test that we have been discussing, then you are due an award amount and compensation under the terms of the settlement agreement. In closing, please keep in mind that the deadline to file claims is June the 8th of 2015.
If you have any questions about your eligibility for a BP claim, please feel free to contact us. Our contact information is listed on this slide. Once again, if you know you would like to pursue a claim, please click the link below the presentation and complete your information, or send us an email and we will provide you with the necessary documents.
Thanks again for your time and listening to this presentation. If you'd like any further information or assistance to see if your business is eligible to file a claim, feel free to contact us anytime. Thank you.